Alright, so I want to talk about a couple of things. First of all, the way the world's going, if you haven't noticed, and everything that's being done, tearing the world apart, is in this book. Not being paid to quote this book. I'm no way affiliated with people who make it, which I think is, I don't know. Anyway, division. The easiest way to destroy any army, no matter how well formed or how organized, is to create dissension in the ranks. If you don't know what this is, because a lot of people don't understand it, basically it's a bunch of people arguing and bickering. So if you're going to attack them, they don't even know what's going to happen. We've got riots going on all over the world, mostly in our country. I mean, there may be more because I don't live anywhere else. I happen to live in America at the moment. So we're complaining about black people are being oppressed. Well, everyone's oppressed. I'm not going to put any names out there, but my wife and I are poor. We still make ends meet. We don't sell drugs. We don't rob stores. We don't steal from people. I donate plasma. That's how we make ends meet right now. We both put in job applications countless places. And people who apparently think it's easy to get a job simply by applying don't understand certain circumstances. Neither of us are felons, so there's no excuse. We're in our 30s. I'm technically overqualified. Yeah, if you can believe that. For a lot of jobs. I'm too qualified to work at McDonald's. I'm too qualified to work at a hiking and camping store. Needless to say, getting a little POS job for $8 an hour is not going to happen. We live in a day and age where children have no respect for elders they don't even know, let alone their own parents. I've seen children cursing and hitting their parents in Walmart, which, of course, we're not going to get into Walmart because of legal stuff, but yeah, no surprise. We've all seen the video by now of the two women, white trash. Al Sharpton didn't have anything to say about that, of course, because he's not going to get any money for it. Fighting in Walmart. Let's not even go into the fact that this woman was screwing over her insurance company so she could have a stroller for her fat ass so she didn't have to walk around. No wonder other countries don't like us. No wonder other people think that we're uneducated, angry, and fighting all the time, and we're fat and lazy. Oh yeah, and let's not forget that we're, the richest country on earth, apparently. I mean, you see all my white privilege living in an apartment. Yes. God, I'm rolling in it. I have a bike and we ride the bus, city transit. So I get to see all types of lovely people. So does my wife. I'm not the calm, cool, collected person when people get in my face. My past dictates that these people don't understand words, especially when you string them together with a period at the end. They get really confused because they don't understand, conversation. All they know is fighting. So I speak to them in the language they comprehend if they decide to do these things. My wife is the calm, cool, and collected one who's, let's just talk it out, let's not argue, the pacifist. She's the exact opposite of me. I have a military past, and pacifism isn't in my nature. She doesn't agree with the things that are going on because she has a stronger set of morals than, God, let's just guess, 95% of people now. She thinks that a lot of things that are going on shouldn't happen, and I agree. And apparently, I've looked around YouTube and Facebook, and God, so many other people agree. So I don't understand why this is happening. You're telling me that, and I'm not going to say all police are good and all people are good. There are some people who are just evil, downright worthless pieces of maggot trash. There's no question. We've all seen them. Not everyone who's in jail is guilty. Not everyone on the streets should be on the streets. Not everyone with a mental illness is some psycho who's going to go kill 50 people and eat their bodies and molest the corpses. Alright? And those people do it for years before they're ever caught. Google it. You'll see. This whole thing with the riots and the looting, my question is, okay, people are dumb. I truly believe the vast majority of people are ignorant, and the rest are just stupid. See, the definition of ignorant is you do not have the knowledge. You haven't been taught. You're unenlightened. The Merriam-Webster definition that I remember reading as a child, yes, dictionaries, they were in books once. There wasn't Google. Was ignorance. The definition was unenlightened individual or uneducated. So ignorance is not a bad thing. We're all ignorant. When we're children, we're ignorant. We don't know the stove is going to burn us. We don't know that a strange dog could bite us. We don't understand that a car can kill us. We have to be taught these things. We have to be taught things like racism, prejudice, greed, hatred. These are not natural instincts in a human or any other animal for that matter. But if you feed your dog every day, all day, he's going to become a lazy fat ass and he's going to expect more food. And that's just what's happened to people. We have people in these patriot groups. I'm not going to, mention all the names because, God, there's like 1 billion of them. And there's one popping up every day. Who think that playing G.I. Joe is actually doing something for the world. Some of them are good people. They do security for veterans parades. They make sure that peaceful protests stay peaceful. They go out and help the homeless. They make sure that, people can't do the things that'll get them in trouble. They don't go out and put guns in people's faces. And the media says this all the time. I think it's stupid. All right? If you do the research and you look for maybe 10 minutes on Google or Yahoo or Bing or whatever you want to use, you'll see that there are hundreds of thousands of people who think this way, that the world should be a better place, that we should all, well, quite frankly, don't start none, won't be none. All right? You have people that, and mostly they're children, but there's a lot of people my age and, my elders, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, who have no respect for anyone. And they have no reason not to. They start a problem for no reason other than they have a chip on their shoulder. That's what my grandpappy would say. Well, he also made it clear someone's going to knock that chip and your block off. But when you become combative with these people because they refuse to allow you the possibility to escape the conversation or confrontation, because it's not a conversation, it's one-sided. It's their way. And they're going to have their way, even if their way is wrong. All they understand is beating their chest like a monkey, and this is not a racist thing, I'm saying apes. That aggression, that unbridled aggression with no logical thought processes, no cognitive ability to pontificate on anything other than gimme, 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 gimme. Okay, fine, that's great. You're a spoiled brat and you're 60 years old. My wife and I both know someone, and he's a black guy, and he's in his 60s. He's a former Marine, this, that, the third. And I say former because all the Marines I've met and the ones I served with don't act that way. This man preaches about how Mexicans are racist against him, how all white people, and he's saying this to our face. Camera's kind of shitty, but I'm a ginger. My wife is part Native American and German. All right? We're about as white as you get. Never has a racist comment come out of my mouth other than being used in context. And we're going to get to that, by the way, because definitions are important to me because, well, it's logic. He talks about how these Mexicans start fights with him, yet he constantly decides to hang out around them and then complain how they treat him. He talks about how every day he's accosted by the police and he manages to beat them into the hospital, yet he still walks around free with multiple felonies on his record at that. Not the Marines I know. Okay, I've never met a Marine that's so full of shit. They all have a ton of pride, and that's a great thing. They drill it into them. In the Army, pride is not as large a thing, but still, we don't act like our shit don't stink, but we know we can handle what we need to do. He talks about how Martin Luther King was a racist, and this, my wife and I have to bite our tongues, because he's an elder and we still respect him, even though the stuff he says is like, wow, you're a special brand of stupid. He says Gandhi was a racist. Little backstory. My mom marched with Martin Luther King. She's dead now, but she went and marched with him. My granddad wasn't a huge fan of it, but when something's right, it's right, regardless of your color, regardless of your age, regardless of your religious preference, because you can't say religion anymore because someone may get offended. Regardless of your sexual orientation, because we can't call it what it is, how you like to take it and give it. Because someone may get offended and try to sue. Well, good luck, motherfuckers, because I'm poor as shit. I have $6 in my bank account, and my wife has even less, because we spend it on food and shit we need, like, I don't know, clothes and bills. You know, kind of more important than people on food stamps and welfare who don't even use it for that. They don't use it for rent or anything. They go out and buy $75,000 cars and put $8,000 worth of aftermarket parts on it. They get handbags and clutches and coats and shoes and phones, and I'm not mentioning name brands because, frankly, I don't want to deal with the court bullshit. It's retarded, and I'm not going to have any part in it even if someone tries to sue me, so good luck. And they show up at the Social Security office with a handbag that I know because I go home and Google things. 2 years ago, the fucking purse was $900. And that same purse is discontinued. And they're selling used for $300. So we know where your food stamps went. We know where your fucking SSI went. We know you don't need it. You don't need the fucking system because you want to look fly, yo. You want to be big balling. If you're riding the fucking city bus and you're wearing $600 clothes, something ain't right here. I mean, it's common fucking sense, people. It doesn't take an IQ of 180 to understand what's right and what's wrong. I'm one of those people, I'm kind of angry a lot of times. There's no real reason. I just, I'm angry. Shit happens. You can say I'm a ginger and I'm soulless, so fucking be it. Whatever, it's your opinion. I don't care. It's America, and we've lost so many of our rights right now, people don't even know it, because they never use them. I fought for my rights. I have a lot of friends right now that are like brothers to me, who are still fighting for our rights. So when you want to talk about who can and cannot have a gun, and this is funny to me because this is going to get into the patriot groups. This is going to keep coming back to politics. Who can and cannot have a gun? Who can and cannot say what? Because I'm white, I'm not allowed to say certain things. Because you're black, you're not allowed to say certain things. Because you're a woman, you can't say certain things. Or vice versa. As a male, you can't say this. Oh, well, you're not gay, so you can't say that. Oh, well, you're not fat. You can't say that. We're going to pause right there. I was 400 pounds at one point. I will say whatever I fucking please to some lard ass. Because I was a lard ass. And people had no problem making fun of me. And I took it in stride. Hey, call me insensitive. I don't give a shit. That's my First Amendment right. Free speech and freedom of press. By the way, they're trying to take away your internet rights and your ability to say what you think. So that's your First Amendment right. That applies to media. Back in the day, First Amendment applied to the press. Literally, where they had metal letters and they rolled ink over it and they pressed a paper. Today, your press isn't the news on Channel 10. It's your internet. It's your Netflix. It's your tablets. It's your laptops. It's your phones. Because we live in a digital age, which I think makes so many more problems than before it came to be. But you get your morning news, your Sunday news. A lot of people don't even get a Sunday paper anymore. They just pull up their little tablet and veg out. So they're playing their little dumbass game that makes millions of dollars every week while reading the Sunday news. That's your press. That's your freedom of press, or lack thereof, more accurately speaking. I'm not going to give a lot of backstory on myself, because it's nobody's fucking business. If you know me, and you know my history. If you don't know me, hey, take it for what it is, man. Some guy explaining things. I'm tired of dealing with people who think something is owed to them. Now, this is not to say that all people on welfare or food stamps or workman's compensation or insurance claims don't rightfully deserve it. Some people truly need it, and they do. I mean, some people really just need it. It's a necessity in order to put food in their mouth or clothes on their children's back. But multiple times my wife and I, and myself, I mean, she tends not to bitch a whole lot, and God bless her heart, have been on the city bus. And we usually sit in the back just because, you know, a lot of dumb shit tends to happen, and it's easier in the back because they're, anyway, all that paranoid crap. So, we're getting off. We're already at the rear doors, which is where you're supposed to disembark the vehicle. It's written all over the place. Signs, everywhere signs. And yet people still want to go out of the front when there's a wheelchair trying to leave. The fuck, dude? Seriously? Wow. You are scum. And they tried to bull us out like a Green Bay linebacker. I'm only 5'7", 208 pounds. No bragging. Your size is irrelevant to me. If you try to push me down, you're going to hit the ground. It's been proven over and over again, and all my friends and family know this. Alright? There's no need for you and your 17-year-old child to act like you're in a hurry to get off of the bus. We're all getting off. Obviously, I mean, it's not going from here to Istanbul. It doesn't go that damn far, and it can't go over water. It's going right down the damn street. It's 110 degrees. Nobody wants to walk. Cool. Okay, fine. If anything, ask, I'm in a hurry. Do you mind if I get off before you? See? Fine. You used your words like a functioning human. I tend to think more as an animal. And my wife has to check me and be like, honey, you're not an animal, you're a person, blah, 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 blah. It works for me. But I don't go around bullying people. I don't go around acting like my shit don't stink. And I sure as damn hell don't push people out of the way just because I want to get my groceries done quicker. She had an incident a while back in another city we lived in. This woman, I mean, she doesn't want to say anything. I would like her to tell it, but whatever. Supposedly had cancer. Now, I say supposedly because I don't know the lady. People pretend to be in the military. People pretend to be cops, and they rape people. And we got real cops raping people, too, so whatever. People pretend to be minors. People pretend to be seniors just so you can get something for free. What the fucking hell has our fucking country turned into? Our forefathers would be so fucking ashamed of us, they would disown the country. Yeah, real shit. This woman, back to the cancer person, okay, almost ran my wife over with the cart. Alright, my wife is not tall, she's 5 foot. She's not slow, she's not a fat ass, okay? She doesn't take 10 minutes to walk 5 feet. She doesn't have any physical injuries that prevent her from moving at a decent pace. This woman almost ran her over with a cart. It's like 35, 40 pounds. I know this because I've lifted them before and had to carry them. So you're telling me as a cancer patient, you can move a cart full of groceries and random crap at the store, probably clothing and whatnot. I wasn't in the aisle. I was getting something else. So fast that you run over someone when you could have said, excuse me, please, I need to get by. Holy fuck, did you just ask politely? No. You're going to basically assault someone in public and then wonder when you find the one person who doesn't take that shit. And then, oh, lordy, he done hit me. Yeah, because you were a fucking asshole. Nobody seems to remember the days when, you could leave your doors unlocked. Nobody even thinks about it. It's just automatic. We lock the fucking doors. Did you lock the doors in the car? Did you lock the doors in the house? Did you lock up your bike? Oh, did you lock the doors when you left the business? I grew up in the 80s. So did my wife. All right, we're real 80s babies. You could live anywhere. You could live in the city and leave your front door wide open and still go down the street 15 miles to get groceries. No one would fuck with your shit. Not even the criminals. They left it alone. Now, you can't live in a gated community where it takes a passcode to get in, and the cops can't even get in without a fucking passcode, which their passcode is usually 091100, but that's beside the point. And still feel safe. You can't live on the 4th floor without some asshole having someone let him in, first of all, and we all know you don't live here. It's not because you don't look right, because that's a class war thing, and that's a communist theory. You're poor, you're middle class, you're lower middle class, you're affluent. Those are communist mindsets. By way of Karl Marx Mussolini, Khrushchev, Stalin, Hitler. I can go on and on. Saddam Hussein, that I had personal experience with this individual's dealings. Okay, this is what our country is. I'm not saying we as Americans are communists. I am simply saying the country is turning into a communist republic. People are dumb. They say it's socialist. There's nothing socialist about it. It's an ism. Communism. It's not socialism. Communism has failed in every country. I've been to communist countries, in fact. I've been to North Korea. I've been to China, and so on and so forth. And believe me, you can walk out on the streets here in America and say fuck you to a stranger. And the cops are not going to come out and execute you in a soccer field for the whole nation to see. It's a public spectacle in a lot of countries, people being executed. Yeah. They don't put them up in prison for 25 years while it's on our tab. For this child molesting killer to be paid 3 hots and a cot all day, working out, TV, all that, on your money. The shit you worked for. The shit your parents and grandparents and great-grandparents worked for. For these psychopaths to sit in a prison cell and just wait to die. A lot of countries, your trial lasts all of 4 days. And it very rarely ends in jail time. It's an execution. And the whole town comes out to see it. It's like a bullfight in Mexico. It's great stuff. It's a spectacle for the whole family to behold. And our country used to be that way too. Hangings were a public deal. They'd put you in stockades. There are still places up north in New York where they have stockades from leftover bygone days. And basically it was to make a fool out of you in town for acting like an idiot. You were left in there for whatever your sentence was. They'd throw feces and rotten fruit at you. People could come up and poke you and treat you like a animal at the zoo. And now you can't shame your kids because somehow you fucked up as a parent. And now you want the whole world to feel that, oh, see, I'm a good parent because I discipline my kids. Bullshit. If you disciplined your kids, they wouldn't have been doing that dumbass shit in the first place. I had my ass tanned when I was a little kid for dumbass shit. Especially if I was told not to do it. And God forbid I was told to do something and took too long to do it, or decided, I'll get around to it. No. That didn't happen. That was an ass whooping, and then I was forced to do it, and then I got another ass whooping because I thought I was an adult. And then I almost got a 2 or 3 hour lecture about the whole scenario. Yeah, that creates intelligent people. Alright? Now, supposedly, good luck. I wish you the best of luck dealing with me. You can't spank your kid in public. I have. I'm sorry. I've spanked other people's children in public. I'm not there when the cops get there, so I don't give a shit. Someone needs to stop it before they get to be 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 adults, senior citizens, middle-aged, and they're still carrying on this attitude of, it's my way or I'm going to pitch a temper tantrum. Well, a nice boot in the ass will get rid of that for you. But no, they weren't taught and they don't know any better. Bullshit. It's the parents' fault. And you can say, oh, well, parents work. My mom worked 4 jobs from the time I was born, basically, until 2 years before she died. Alright? She was 80 pounds soaking wet, 5'7". There's no fucking way you can tell me there's not time to sit down with your child and tell them, look, you don't do this. It was very clear. I'm not going to take someone else's toys because I don't want them to take mine. That was common sense. There's no sense fighting over it. If they take your stuff, you take it back. You don't have to kill them. If you get in a fight, don't beat them to death. Never fight unless you have to defend yourself. And don't go overboard with it. There's no need for you to kill me because you don't like the way I look. Here's an idea. Don't look at me. Congratulations, I solved all your problems. It's a generational gap, and I understand the psychology therein, and a lot of it's the educational system, which is designed to make them stupider. Excuse me, that's not a word. Less intelligent. It's designed to create less free thinkers and more people who do what they're told when they're told, how they're told, and nothing but what they're told. You see that? That's a box. Yeah, that's thinking inside the box. And there's nothing wrong with inside the box thinking. However, when someone tells you to do something and you do it without questioning, that shows an extreme lack of intelligence. Okay, but that's enough of that. I think the point is extremely clear. Now let's get on to some of these so-called patriot groups. A lot of them are great for their communities. All right? I happen to live in Arizona right now. And I can say personally, I've had some experience with some of these people, and the mindsets are awesome. The doctrines are flawless. The goal is great. Now, some people fail to follow through, and that's not the overall team's problem, but it shows a lack of commitment. There are some groups that are, well, let's just be real. They're crazy. They do dumb stuff, and it's the same as everything else. Racism and prejudice. One dumbass motherfucker makes it difficult for all of us to have good shit. That one fucking crackhead in the neighborhood means we can't fucking unlock our doors. We can't not have a 12 gauge sitting by us. Yeah, one bad apple spoils the bunch. It's an old idiom. I heard it my whole life. These people talk a lot. And this isn't just patriot groups. This is politicians and city planners. These idiots you think voting actually is going to change. Little news flash about the voting. The money puts them in office, not your votes. Because I don't know anyone who voted for George Bush Jr. or Obama the second time, and they got elected. And Bush got in trouble for getting dead people's votes. Well, here's a neat little fact. That's happened since we voted. It's never been a democracy. Ever. It was never a democracy. It's a money game. And it's a shit-slinging contest. It's a bunch of monkeys throwing shit at each other. That's what it is. Monkeys in suits. They're good-looking monkeys, but they're still monkeys. When you have an idea, and I was taught this in the military, I was taught this in my family, they taught me this in martial arts. Deliberation is great. Thinking about something before you do it is always the way to go. You don't want to just be impulsive when it comes to an important decision like, I don't know, buying a car, leaving the town, moving, the food you're getting. Excuse me, by the way. You usually need to think about it. But you can only deliberate for so long before it becomes blowing hot air. You have to follow through. You can't keep doing the same thing and expect anything to change. You can't sit here and talk about, well, we need to do this, we need to train this way, and we need to teach these people and this and that, and that's all you do. You don't ever do anything different to up your game. You don't push yourself. You don't stress yourself. You don't hit the wall and push through like a runner or an athlete or martial artist. When you feel yourself coasting, you've gone too far. You got to stop and redo it. That's why, as athletes, we do that. When you hit the wall, you only go so far past it because you're going to have an embolism. A blood vessel is going to explode in your brain and you'll die. Well, in normal everyday life, when you feel yourself just coasting because you've done it for so long and it's not even an effort now, you fucked up. You're not changing anything. You're in a rut. It's a habit. It's a vicious cycle. There's so many terms. It all means the same thing. You have to change. You have to adapt. You have to modify your mind, your soul, and your heart. Otherwise, you're never going to move forward as a human. The only thing, and this is Benjamin Franklin's words, that separates man from beasts is men refuse to admit they're beasts. We're just as intelligent as any other animal in the world. The only difference is we kill each other for money. We kill each other for fame. Not just kill, we hurt each other. We screw each other over and stab knives in our best friends' backs because we just want a little piece of action or a piece of ass. And that goes for women too. We are the only species that optionally hates our own species. We're the only species that makes it a point to go to another country and murder people for money. I'm not talking about the military per se. I'm talking about we send assassins and hitmen and blackwaters and triple canopies and private military contractors to go and do stupid shit because they're not affiliated with us. Only a moron would believe that. It's bureaucracy. It's political bullshit, and it's legalese, which is a language that is not hard to understand. It's stupid simple. We're the only animal on the planet that chooses to start a fight or confrontation or conflict for nothing other than we just feel like it, or personal gain, or glory, or fame, or to get our names on fucking Facebook or Twitter. Because I'm famous, look at me, I got in a big ass street fight and took out 25 people and the cops came and shot me, so I'm a martyr. No, you're a fucking moron and you're the problem of the world. You're the reason so many of us are treated like shit. I've been made fun of my whole life. I've been bullied, I could bitch and bitch and bitch. I don't care. I get judged because I have red hair and freckles. I get judged because I'm 5'7". God, I get judged because I have brown eyes. I've been the victim of so many prejudices and racisms, it's ridiculous. I was called a honky my entire life, basically, until I moved out of Georgia. Yeah, go figure. Which supposedly is an extremely racist state. Yeah, but it's not the type of racist you think. For those of you who don't know what honky is, it's an old world term. It means cracker, which is a term for white slave driver. Which brings me, as a decent segue, to the last and almost final part of this little video. Slavery. Being born and raised in Georgia, southern Georgia. My grandfather was not a racist. He never said any ill words about anyone because of their color. And he didn't talk ill of anyone. He said it's a curse. When you speak poorly of people and you make it clear you don't like them, you're cursing them. And this man was a devout Christian who was raised in Augusta, Georgia. And no one knows where that is, so whatever. He says you don't use profanity. You don't drink, and you don't smoke, and you don't ever speak ill of people even if you don't like them. You know why? Because it's a reflection on you, not them. You can shit talk someone all day long. And what it truly is a reflection on their personality, their heart and soul. But most of the people nowadays think that it has something to do with them because they're dumb or they're ignorant. They don't know it has nothing to do with them. That person making fun of you and giving you shitty looks and scoffing, whatever. It's not you, dipshit. They have problems. They're not mentally ill. They're fucked up. They're damaged goods. They're a petri dish full of a disease that they're going to spread. And I say a disease because that type of attitude, that mentality, that hatred for people that you've never even met, that you just saw for 10 seconds in passing, that's the worst kind of humanity. That goes against everything that this world needs to be. And unfortunately, the powers that control things love it. They like seeing people fight because of their height, their weight, their color, their age, their income bracket. I have had people in Patriot groups treat me like shit because I'm poor and can't afford a car. I don't speak ill of them. I pity them. I truly feel sorry for them. From the deepest part of my heart, I worry for them. Not their immortal soul, but I worry because they're part of the problem. They're part of the class war. They're part of the division in our country. But nobody pays attention. They just go, oh, well, that's just how he or she is. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to do anything about it. Nobody wants to fix the fact that everyone's so caught up on minor differences. No one pays attention to the one major thing every single human on this planet has in common. We're fucking human beings. We all come from the same 4 tribes at one point. Do your research, you'll know what I'm talking about. We all, black, white, Latino, Asian, you name it, came from 4 tribes. And this isn't Bible. This is true anthropology. They've proven it. So we're literally, every one of us. I don't care if you've never met someone. That's your brother. That's your sister. Genetically speaking, in your DNA, in your genetic code, which has all our memories, what turns us on, what makes us happy, what type of foods we like, what we're predispositioned to do, think, and feel, We're all related. Yeah, your wife and husband, that's your brother or sister, and you're fucking them. Welcome to incest. No, but seriously, we're all brothers and sisters. Literally. Biologically and physiologically speaking, we're all related. And people talk all this shit about how, oh, families stick together. We're all family. Every one of us. From the 110-year-old that you threw in a nursing home because they're too fucking difficult to deal with, to the fucking toddler in foster care because mom's a crack whore and the dad's a fucking worthless little thug being abused by somebody who wants him as a paycheck. Real talk. It's not just whites. It's not just blacks. It's not just Spanish people. It's not just Asians. This happens across the board. Doesn't matter your color. I'm so sick of fucking hearing people bitch about color. This poor black kid, this poor person, this poor black kid, black, Latino. No one ever talks about how we can fix it. All they want to do is bitch and pitch a fit like a child who wants a candy bar. And people just give in because they don't want to hear it anymore. I'm not listening. I do my things at night to go and stop crime. That's nobody's business. I make an effort to change my neighborhood. Yeah, cops call it vigilante, whatever. It's going on all over the country. So, what are you doing to fix things? What are you doing to change the world your grandchildren's grandchildren are going to inherit from you? Do you want to leave them a fucking big-ass clogged toilet that can't even be fixed? Or do you want to leave them a nice green pasture where they can build their own lives? Think about it.